with current DOT physicals and a safe driving history. Enjoy great benefits including medical, dental, and vision insurance, paid holidays, personal time off, and retirement options. Call 256-649-6071 or visit 1101 Nathan Road Southwest to apply. Keep on trucking with Arab Cartage and Express, where your road to a better future begins.
It's Arabian Night Football on Fun Radio, Fun 92.7. Tonight's game is brought to you by
Citizens Bank and Trust, Better Homes and Gardens, Southern Branch, Premier Real Estate, Parkway Flooring and Interiors, Premier Family Care, Southern Ink and Thread, Jones Pharmacy and Gifts in Arab, North Alabama Farmers Co-op, Milner's Dairy Delight, Carolyn's Antiques and Vintage, and by Country Financial and the Driscoll Morgan Agency.
Now back to the Fun 92.7 pregame show, brought to you by
People's Bank, where people mean more.
As the sun begins to set to our right here at Warrior Stadium, Weiss Lake right in front of us, as you can see in the offing, and a little nip of fall in the air. It's football time. And with that, I bring in the voice of the Arabian Nights, Archie Anderson. And Archie, first of all, thank you for stepping in for Ronnie Shoemate. Ronnie has had some illness in his family and has had a little procedure himself. Was not able to make this game, but appreciate you stepping in. Is this your first time to coming to a football game in Cherokee County?
It is. I've been to Center before and what have you, but I never have drove to Center from Arab, I don't think. So, and it's definitely my first football game there.
You know, you would think that there would be great high school football in this area, which there is, because the middle of this area, the town is named Center, which is where everything starts on a football team.
There you go. Well, certainly they have a tremendous tradition there at Cherokee County, something they're extremely proud of. And, they bring it to the field. And hearing you talk this morning, they've got an excellent place for us to play tonight.
Indeed, and this beautiful field, of course, is a turf situation. They're building an indoor. So
Wow.
This place is this is a football factory, and I'm not saying that in any negative kind of way. They do it right, and this program is led. The principal here, Mr. Luttrell, is just a fantastic guy. So, the community rallies around this football team, and there's a seam of football right through this area, the Bluffs with Cedar Bluff and Hopes Bluff, and of course Piedmont, Cherokee County. You just get some good football out of this area year in and year out.
A lot of big rivalries there, including Cherokee County and Piedmont, which played last week. And that's, I think Piedmont may have a one-game edge in the series itself now after last week. But that's a bitter rivalry, and what a way to start out their season every year.
It is, and last year, of course, they lose to Piedmont and then ran the table.
Right.
So that's what in hopes of Coach Jacob Kelly wanting this year. Coach Kelly was very disappointed in the effort of his football team. When I had a chance to come down here and sit with him on Tuesday, we spent about an hour together. But his biggest concern was the effort of his team. He said it just didn't have that feel that his football teams have had over the past 3 years, and they've ended up in the state championship game.
Well, you know, and there always seems like they're always replacing outstanding players year in and year out, and that's the case this year with Tay Diamond out of the lineup, who was highly touted as a defensive star. He was the defensive player of the year, I think, for 4A last year, and had been a finalist the 2 years before. And he rushes for over 1,200 yards last year, and people hardly mention that, which is, you know, pretty big deal. But it seems like they always are able to reload, as the coaches like to word it. And I kind of think that's part of it. I know Keyshawn Woods played against us last year, and he's kind of their go-to guy back there in the backfield now, I think. But may just take a little time. I don't know. And like I say, starting with a rivalry like they do each year, you know, that's pretty tough way to start. The bad news for us is, and we looked at it last year, they got beat by their rival. Uh-oh.
Yeah, here you go. And, of course, this is a home game this year. They're not on the road as they were last year. Adam Griffin is the quarterback. He came in the second half of the game last year. He came in the second half of the game last year as a sophomore and really sort of laid down the groundwork and took the team on his back after their quarterback went out with the ACL injury all the way to the state championship. He's back. He runs this team, but he also has a nice arm. May not have the long distance arm, but very accurate on the short passes.
Very accurate, and like you say, he's had that experience now And I think he's going to be ready to go. 7 of 11 last week for 111 yards passing, which isn't bad at all. Coaches love accuracy, and who doesn't in their football team? So if you know your best effort is the short pass, and that's going to get you a first down and move the chains and keep the drives going, that's what you do.
Archie, if you'll notice on that lineup, their line is big. They were big last year. They're big again this year. And on the defensive side of the ball, Dalton Duncan, the middle guard, perhaps will be one of the best middle guards, the middle of the defense that the Arabian Knights will face all year.
6'4", 216, and I guess he's kind of taken Tay Diamond's spot, is trying to replace that star role. But like you say, yeah, they're big across the way. I'm looking at 292, 277, 232. Some big folks. We counter okay with size, but I don't know that it's necessarily an even match. Sometimes you might have the weight, maybe not the athletic ability, if you will, of some of these folks. But at the same time, I think our guys are hungry. So the only thing is we know they're going to be there again. They lost to their rival. They had a couple of good drives going and had turnovers. That may have given them a win over Piedmont last week. So that's going to be one of the big things is Cherokee County is focusing on Cherokee County tonight. And I know Arab will focus on Arab, but at the same time, the Warriors are going to be hungry.
Indeed, we had the opportunity to sit down with Coach Jacob Kelly. Had a great conversation with him. Here it is. The old adage is coaches learn more about their team week 1 to week 2. What'd you learn about your team? And obviously you got some work to do with Arab coming in. You got a home game this week. You're opening here at home with the Arabian Knights. Your thoughts on what you see with your team and what you see with the Knights?
Well, I mean, the first thing I've seen is, they're not happy with what happened Friday because we've had a practice since then. So practice was really good yesterday, and we just had one of them old-fashioned woodshed practices, where we, did Oklahoma, and we did a lot of tackling drills and get off the block drills and leverage drills and the things that we struggled with the other night that kind of put us in the position of not playing well. And so they responded the right way. So that's the first thing I learned. And then second thing is, you got Arab coming to town, don't get any easier. Arab's big, they're physical, they like to run the football between the tackles. And the fact that Piedmont did that to us the other night means we gotta show we can stop it. It's like a nosebleed. It's what I told the guys. If you don't stop the bleed, it's going to keep bleeding because what you put on film is what teams think of you. And so they better be ready to get that nose bloodied again, or else it's going to be a whole lot more blood. And so, yeah, it's a very similar matchup because stylistically, different styles of defense, but still attacking, and different styles of offense, but still physical. And so yeah, in the fighting game, you got two strikers, two juggernaut guys that like to throw blows, and that's kind of what Friday in my mind is looking like.
Coach, tell us a little bit about your team, some of the players we'll hear about tonight.
Well, we've got about, I think, 6 returning on both sides of the ball from previous years. Running back Keyshawn Woods, quarterback Adam Griffith, even though he wasn't the starter last year, he became the starter after the Arab game because our starter got hurt, and he led us to the state title game. You got offensive lineman Asa Holbert. You've got tight end Ben Mosley. DBs, you've got Cooper Allen. He got an interception in last year's game. He's back. Keyshawn Thomas is another one of the safeties. He played corner for us last year, but he's back. He also does a lot of things on offense and in the return game. And then defensive lineman Dylan Duncan. I don't know if he had a ton of tackles last year, but he was getting double teamed a lot. He's probably going to get double teamed a lot Friday, but he does a good job of holding his ground and forcing things back inside, so maybe our linebackers can can make some tackles, and then Jaquan Diamond in the middle at middle linebacker. He's another starter that's basically our signal caller on defense. So those are our kind of key guys that we got to to get us on the right track.
Coach, what are the keys tonight getting this first win at home?
Well, we've talked about it. We've got to be penalty free or somewhat penalty free. We can't let it kind of dictate the position and the outcome of the game. And then